I hate Krabby Patties.
Ah! Good one, Squidward.
Good what?
Like you don't know, saying, I hate Krabby Patties. That's hilarious. Everyone loves Krabby Patties.
Yeah, well, not me.
You're good at that. Hey, everyone. Squid says he doesn't like Krabby Patties. Ha!
Many cartoon characters become popular. Few become iconic, in a way that makes them recognizable around the world. Characters so big they tend to become the mascots of the companies producing them. But what do they have that, say, Woody Woodpecker or Betty Boop or Yogi Bear don't have? I mean, those latter characters are popular, very popular, and many are still being updated and presented to a modern audience. Or at least people are attempting to update them. But they do seem to lack a certain malleability, stuck within certain form factors. Popeye cannot be a rubber hose rapscallion, and a whimsical sorcerer, and a JRPG badass without losing key elements to his character. But Mickey Mouse can. SpongeBob SquarePants is the newest member of the iconic cartoon character club, and he and his show share a lot of the same traits as these earlier examples. His design is both inherently simple and instantly recognizable, built on basic shapes. In the same way that if you can draw 3 circles, you can draw a recognizable Mickey Mouse, if you can draw a rectangle, you can draw a recognizable SpongeBob. This makes him visually identifiable in most contexts, and, most importantly for capitalism, visually recognizable on most merchandise. His personality is just as simplistic to work with. SpongeBob personifies a core aspect of human behavior, namely childhood behavior, in the same way that Bugs Bunny personifies cleverness and Garfield personifies laziness. He's just not complicated, and you can put him in a number of different contexts without having to change the core element of himself. You know exactly in your head what Hamlet with SpongeBob characters would look like. You can remix him without eliminating him. However, there is a difference between SpongeBob and many of those other iconic characters, in that SpongeBob SquarePants debuted in 1999, when both the internet and digital media like DVDs were firmly an established part of everyday life, which meant that expression through iconic characters shifted from corporations to the general public. What I mean is, when Looney Tunes characters go dressed out in hip-hop fashions, this only happens under the authorization of the owners of that intellectual property, in this case Warner Brothers. That is a corporate-approved remix. And sure, there have been plenty of unapproved remixes, hello bootleg Bart Simpson's t-shirts, but for decades these were outliers. The internet was a new frontier of expression, a blank canvas where you could stake a claim and create something that could be seen by thousands or even millions of people. And if that something was derivative of a company's intellectual property, you usually didn't get in trouble for it. Usually. Fan art and fan fiction has existed forever, of course, but they had been secluded to physical mediums, shared between maybe a few dozen peoples at conventions at best. But now there was a public space where you could post Captain Kirk and Spock kissing, and anyone could find it. Not only that, though, the internet developed its own language, with forums, blogs, and later social media allowing for quick communicative distribution of works at a mind-boggling speed. DVDs and file sharing, on the other hand, allowed for pristine preservation and distribution of media in ways unimaginable even during the days of VHS. Magnetic tape only gets you so far, and getting an image off that tape onto your computer wasn't impossible, but it required a quest to Mount Doom and back. Making SpongeBob fan art was one thing, but with the first SpongeBob DVDs coming out in 2003, you could pop a disc into your computer, take a crystal clear screenshot, and modify it however you wanted in your editing software of choice. Yeah, okay, you know where this is going. This video is about SpongeBob memes. SpongeBob SquarePants seems exceptionally suited for internet culture, with dozens of SpongeBob screenshots being remixed and recontextualized in an infinite number of ways. From quippy jokes, to mood-setting images for your creepypasta, to just utter nonsense. It's not alone in that, of course. Memes built on the 1967 Spider-Man cartoon challenged SpongeBob for the top spot, but there's a certain irony in those Spider-Man memes, a bit of rib-poking for being so old and so cheap. SpongeBob isn't old, and it isn't cheap. and most of the people who can be bothered to make these memes grew up with the show. SpongeBob is contemporary, and will probably be contemporary for a while yet, and so the show and the remakers are in frequent dialogue with each other. So let's take a look at one episode in particular, which contains two shorts. One which has created multiple meme images, and another that, as far as I can tell, hasn't been tapped for that kind of humor at all. Premiering on October 5th, 2001, Just One Bite / The Bully was the third episode of SpongeBob SquarePants' third season, and the 43rd episode overall. In Just One Bite, Squidward expresses his hatred for Krabby Patties, but after SpongeBob pressures him into trying one, he finds himself addicted to the stuff.
Squidward, I want to apologize for before. I was only trying to make you happy. I was trying to make myself happy. But now I've learned there's room for all kinds of people in this crazy world. And they don't all have to like the same thing.
Don't go.
In The Bully, a new student shows up at SpongeBob's school and immediately targets the little guy for a beating, causing SpongeBob to panic as he tries to find a way out of it.
I sit next to your son Flats in school, and he is a fine boy and all, and I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but he wants to kick my butt.
Dad, what are you doing? Nothing, son.
What did I tell you about talking to strangers?
Now he's gonna kick my butt!
Both shorts are very funny, with Just One Bite having a more straightforward story, a sort of reimagining of green eggs and ham that asks the question, what happened after that one snobby guy ate the green eggs and ham? The Bully is much looser in its structure, jumping from gag to gag, with impossible changes in the status quo and the occasional break from reality.
What's that? Someone's coming! You're getting closer. I just gotta act natural.
Oh, that's real nice.
So if you're not in the know, it might surprise you that all the mainstream memes produced from this episode come from Just One Bite. The Bully hasn't managed a single one, at least not yet. And what's interesting is that the ones from Just One Bite are all different, playing off to different strengths of the show.
Here you go, sir. A king-size Ultra Krabby Supreme with the works, double batter fried, on a stick.
Thanks.
Barnacle head.
Pardon me?
You forgot your mayonnaise.
Thanks.
While most of the show's comedy is visual, line delivery cannot be overlooked. Squidward's sardonic tone, raw, service worker who hates their job energy over something as simple as mayonnaise, is just chef's kiss perfect. These kind of moments lend themselves to absurdist remakes, perfect fodder for a YouTube poop, replacing the mayonnaise with whatever else would sound funny when discussed in that tone of voice. These YouTube poops work because it's a style of comedy not too far off from what the show is already doing.
On a stick, on a Krabby, barnacle, on a head, on a forgot Krabby, on a.
SpongeBob SquarePants is visual first, though. It's a storyboard-led show, not a script-led show, which makes expression king. These character designs, as simple as they are, have to communicate a wide range of emotions, and the people making the show got that down to a science.
No, wait, it's not what you think. This is a big misunderstanding. You've got to believe me. Listen, I am telling you! You better listen to me, SpongeBob!
Even out of context, SpongeBob's smug expression of victory reads clearly. Attaching this image to certain sentiments allows for tone to come through. It's almost punctuation mark by way of a SpongeBob screenshot.
Nobody is immune to its tasty charms.
Nobody but me.
Are you sure?
Does this look unsure to you?
No.
The gross, over-detailed close-up gag goes back a while, one of the more lasting elements of Ren and Stimpy's style of humor. It's funny in its suddenness, but also unsettling in its uncanniness. Giving goofy cartoon characters any semblance of actual anatomy just presses the wrong parts of the brain. Images like this are often remixed to unnerve, to unsettle. This is the kind of SpongeBob image you might see used in the urban legend corner of the internet. Not funny, just odd and maybe a little creepy. That's 3 different gags from a single episode that resulted 3 very different ways to communicate ideas through memification, which, if anything, is a testament to how well SpongeBob SquarePants communicates ideas and humor to both younger and older audiences. The fact that these came from the more structurally sound Just One Bite, and not the more loosey-goosey The Bully, I think proves intent in design. Anyone can throw a bunch of LOL so random jokes out there and hope somebody picks one of them up for their political joke on Twitter. But what happened here was people going back to this work they loved and carving off the choice cuts, the best parts of a well-cooked meal. Which isn't to say The Bully isn't funny. It's pretty funny. And maybe someday this expression or this gag will be picked up by some 28-year-old who'll smile and go, "Oh yeah, I remember this. This was funny. I'm going to do something with this," and make a meme from it. A lot of this is just random chance, really. But SpongeBob SquarePants, actual iconic cartoon character, allows for a lot of rediscovery. There's more to say on this, of course, but we'll save it for later. After all, this was just a sample.